if it's happened to you a lot, Jeremiah, also?
Oh, absolutely. No, you're spot on. And at the end of the day, if you don't have that equilibrium and the right things in the right place, the professor has been explaining things over the last few days, and every single element is building up to what he is trying to illustrate as the balance. So if you've been paying attention, you've probably learned some unbelievable facets, which are very rarely spoken about, but which Jose has very, very intelligently and adequately exposed to you over the last few days. And this today, ladies and gentlemen, is the culmination of a few lessons for you to really understand that next time you're putting a product in your mouth, whatever that might be, if there's anything out of place, you will now more possibly understand what is out of balance. And if, on the other hand, harmony is created, happiness is created, and a big smile comes onto your face, that's the professor will explain to be balance.
Totally agree. You know, one of the things that I hear in a lot of shops that I go is how people talk that the first 2 inches, 3 inches, and the cigar all of a sudden goes flat, and they don't understand it. And I'll just give a simple example how a blend can be totally ruined. Let's say the roller is working with 4 fillers, and all of a sudden he gets distracted, and he puts in filler number 1 when he's bunching, filler number 2. But somebody calls him, he gets distracted and says, oh my God, have I put in filler 3 already? And says, maybe I didn't put in filler 3, and repeats maybe filler 3 and puts in number 4, but he left number 2 out. That 25 or 20% of filler that was left out is going to totally change the taste of that. And to be honest, it's something that doesn't happen every day. It's like maybe 1 in 1,000, maybe 1 in 5,000, but it could happen. So that's when this guy who's been smoking XYZ cigar, all of a sudden for many years, all of a sudden he says like, there's something missing on that cigar. And it's probably was that he was the lucky winner of a cigar that didn't have those 3 or 4 fillers. But that's so people understand how important it is, the quality control, the bunching of the cigar.
Oh, yeah. You see, this is the problem. Oh, no, whoa, look at that. The chef is starting to prepare. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to explain to you a new game we have on the show, which I think everybody's going to love. And the new game is called Nail the Professor. So if you manage to nail the professor, hold on a second. How come it's not showing up here? We got some technical problems. Let's try this again. Here we go. Is it coming up? Oh, I don't know if it's coming up or not. But anyways, nail the professor. So basically, there's a challenge out to all of you. The professor knows everything because the professor is the professor. We're challenging you to nail him. So we want your comments, we want your questions, and the person who manages to ask a question to the professor that he is unable to answer is going to win a prize. So you guys throw your questions, and the professor is going to be added. Nail the professor. All right.
I have one question. It looks like, what about the influence of the ring gauge with the achievement of a balanced cigar? I personally don't believe it's possible to achieve a great balanced cigar with a large ring gauge. What's your opinion?
That one is so not true. I mean, when you are making a cigar, it doesn't matter if it's a 30, a 32, a 38, a 60, a 70, a 80 ring gauge. If you are a true master blender, the ring gauge does not matter how you're going to make it. Because you have to understand that before that cigar was made, it wasn't that tobacco was just taken out there, putting it together and sending it out. it was 1 blend, 2 blends, 3 blends, 40 blends, could have been 50 blends. So any really master blender that respects himself, and there's a lot of them out there, which I admire, respect, and interact with them, I can guarantee you the balance will be there. And if you see a cigar unbalanced, there could be many things that could have happened. But great blenders will always come out with a balanced cigar. So, not true.
That makes a really good point, because when you think about a chef working in a restaurant, they're not going to just make steaks because people want steaks. They're going to have to make it where it's delicious, it's amazing, it's going to sell, and people can talk about it.
Absolutely. All right. Now, coming up for all of you, the great honor of having our show chef. Also, every week on Thursdays, only for you, we're having Christophe Hardiquest in What's Cooking. Christophe, up to you, bro.
Hello. Hello, Godfather. How are you today? Everybody, welcome on the Carlito's show, Carlos Fuente show. I'm a big lover of the Carlitos cigars. That's why I'm here also with you. And I want to share a part of my life with you today again. So I will show you today how to be successful with the poached egg for everybody. Something, a little trick, very easy trick to be poached egg. Okay?
Poached egg.
So
hold on a second.
poached egg.
I never get a poached egg right. Melanie, can you get a poached egg right? I can never make a poached egg.
They know how to make a 6-minute egg, says a German. Pretty much. So I learned that I can make a 6-minute egg. It's close to poached, but no.
All right. Chris, can you show us how to make a poached egg, please? Because
Okay.
I've been wanting to do this for the past 30 years.
Look, I'll show you. It's a simple cup, coffee cup or tea cup. I took a film paper, a folio paper, plastic paper. I put some oil, okay? And after, I put the film paper in the cup this way. Look, very easy. You make a beautiful square with the folio. Okay? You take your eggs, put it inside this way. You see? Very easy. You take all the film folio this way. You take a cooking string. Very easy. You make a running knot.
Where is it running though? Where is it going?
You see, this way. Take the air out this way, and after you ties up the strings, the cooking strings, this way. After, you see, very easy. Look, my eggs. I got so many. And after, I'll put it during 4 minutes and a half in the boiling water. 44 and a half, 45. It depends the size of the egg. After that.
All right, guys, listen to
cooking.
This is very important. Look. This is the difference between a great chef and me. He tells you that you got to leave it for 4.5 minutes to 4 minutes and 45 seconds in the water for it to be perfect. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between 4.5 minutes and whatever. So
they're so bundled up. They look like you could give them away as party favors at a wedding.
Look. Now, what's happening after cooking time? Look, my eggs.
Oh wow!
Look, it's very beautiful shape. You see?
Yeah.
Up. And what I do is a bit spinach on the toast of sourdough bread, like this. Okay, very easy, like œuf Florentine. I put the eggs on it. You see? I put salt and pepper, fresh pepper, and to finish, to finish, my little curry sauce. My little curry sauce, you see, and fresh coriander, cilantro, this way. And I get a beautiful breakfast for tomorrow morning. Gentlemen, please say you are my recipe of the day.
Wow. No, now you understand why this guy's #1 in the country and one of the best in the world. I've just noticed.
We can't even cook an egg. He's got the whole thing.
All right, let's see. We got
My
some
pleasure.
questions. We got some questions coming in and more questions coming in. Here's a question that came in from Fabian Carlo. He said, what about the proportion between the filler and the wrapper? Is there an achieved blend, Professor? Consider with a wider ring gauge than a 54. What do you think?
I didn't hear. Sorry, you were speaking about the wrap, the film paper, the folio. You see, that's right.
Well, actually, no, but that's a good idea because it seems like the professor got bounced off the show. So we're going to go right back to you, Chris. Tell us about that film. How does that film work?
The film.
So
the folio, you mean?
Exactly, the folio.
The folio is just a plastic folio. You find it everywhere, so it's very easy to find in the supermarket, you know, and you get everything at home. Normally, everybody's got some folio at home, and you can make it easily. Wrap the eggs in this kind of folio. Otherwise, you can use. It's difficult to do with something else because otherwise it's going to be not in a good shape.
Okay.
Christophe, what is your favorite thing to cook that you like absolutely love? What's your favorite thing that you cook for yourself or your family, and then you just you're like, this is what I want tonight?
When I'm cooking, it's the same like a soft boiled eggs timing, you know. It's 4 minutes 30 seconds. It could be also sometimes when you got some big eggs, you can use for 5 minutes. It depends very, very differently the size of the eggs.
Chef Chris, there's a question that came in from you from Art Bowker. Art, I'm going to pull you onto the line so you can ask your question to the chef.
Yes.
All right, let's get Art. Art, we can hear you.
Yeah, hello. How's everybody doing?
How you doing, Art?
Hi, thank you, Art.
Quickly, that sauce that you put on, how do you make that? What's that consist of?
The what you say? I didn't hear.
The
sauce,
the sauce that you put on the.
The sauce. It's very easy. It's mayonnaise, basic mayonnaise with curcuma and curry, a little bit cream and lemon juice. Very easy to do.
Nice.
Very easy to do. And fresh spinach with garlic. That's it.
All right, I'm going to try to make this, and then I'm showing you the video. And if it looks awful, I'm blaming you.
All right, Art. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So we got a question coming in here that was for the professor, but I'm going to answer it. It was a question from Fabian. Hold on. Fabian, you asked a question about the filler and the wrapper. Let me see if I can get you on the line here. Fabian Carlo. All right, Fabian, you're on the line.
Hi,
Yes.
Fabian.
Hi, Melanie. Hi, Jeremiah. How are you doing?
Hey, brother, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you. Just closed the shop. Everything is okay. For you?
All right. Doing good.
Bonjour, Fabien.
Bonjour. So here is my question. I'm still tricky with the ring gauge because personally, it's actually now about more than 30 years that I'm a cigar smoker. And I really have difficulty with large ring gauge cigars. I find them most of the time in the middle of the cigar quite boring. And I don't have really an answer. So please, Professor or Jeremiah, Master Blender, please give me an answer. What could be an achieved blend, or why not give me an example of a really achieved cigar with a wider ring gauge than 54? Is there one? For me, I don't find. I know it's quite extreme, but I know it's a bit extreme, but please.
Well, that's a very good question, Fabien, and I'm going to try to answer you.
I'm back now.
Oh, the professor is here. Well, listen, I'll try to answer you anyways, and then the professor will bounce me around and give you his thoughts on this. But in my opinion, it's like everything in life. There is a place for everything, and there is a situation for everything, and taste profile is very personal. So when you start moving around with different ring gauges, we all understand that depending on that ring gauge, it's going to have an influence on the taste. There's going to be a complexity change. There's going to be a difference in terms of the heat, in terms of the combustion, because of the air that's coming through the cigars. Obviously, there's going to be a difference in the concentration of the flavors. So it's a very, very, we have a Maestro Fuente on the line there. Carlito.
Hello, Carlito.
Hola, Carlito. Hola.
Abrazos, hermano. Big hugs. Wow, that looks good. Looks delicious.
So
Jeremiah, what was the question? Because something happened here. What was the question that he had?
Fabien was asking a very, very good question. A lot of the old school smokers, especially the European old school smokers, have a resistance to smoking cigars over a certain ring gauge. It's not in the culture. Most of the old school Europeans smoke 46, 48, 50, 52 ring gauges, and haven't been used to smoking these, what we call these big ring gauges, the 54s, 56, 60 ring gauges. So Fabien's question was, what's the point and where's the pleasure?
Listen, it is true. The United States and Europe has been totally different. If you go way back in time, the Corona 5 1/4 by 42 was one of the best-selling sizes in Europe for many, many years. If you look at the States, the number one selling SKU is 6 by 54, a Toro. That said, you have to look at it this way. The same way people evolve and palates evolve, sizes always. In my personal opinion, I'm not a big fan of big ring gauge cigars. Everybody knows my number one size is 5 1/2 by 46, a Corona Gorda. But if the cigar is well made, well constructed, with good aged tobacco, you could smoke a good cigar, Lancero 7 by 38, and have that, let's say 5 1/4 by 50 or 52. They're going to be very similar in taste and in strength. But to me, the bottom line is the construction, the aging of the tobacco, and how the cigar was bunch made in age. That's my personal opinion.
No, I agree. I agree to most of that.
Most only?
Well, I think that's quite a bit. In my particular case, I'm old school, like yourself, Jose. We've been around this for decades and decades and decades and generations.
We came with Columbus.
Yeah, well, almost. I enjoy a cigar that it feels comfortable in my mouth and comfortable in my hand. Even though we have requests and we have customers, and the customer is always right, I find it very, very difficult to smoke a cigar over 60 ring gauge. And the reason is because compression is a big part of the draw, and compression is a big part of what you have in taste. And it's almost impossible for me to compress my mouth and completely be able to, to capture that entire cigar. So I think a lot has to do with comfort also.
I agree.
Completely.
I hope we answered that question, Fabien, because you caused us to argue for 5 minutes to get back to you on that one.
Yes, I'm happy. Thank you very much for the answer. I'm very happy to have in fact, for me, it's the industrial point of view. And I understand that consumer is the king, of course, is the king of the game. But on the other hand, I see that Mr. Professor and Carlito, both them favorite shapes and ring gauge is quite small, like me. So in the end, we will see. But thank you very much for the answer. It was very, very interesting for me. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll talk to you in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. So we got some remarks here and some questions. Alex is asking, could you confirm the origin of the seed used in Cameroon? Well, Professor, you want to answer that one for me?
No, because I'm not a Meerapfel.
Well, it's no secret. The origin of the seed which is used in Cameroon comes from Sumatra. It's a Sumatra seed. It's an Indonesian seed. And that's why there has been so much discussion about calling Cameroon Cameroon. Cameroon is not a seed in itself. Cameroon is a harmony, a marriage between the old Indonesian Sumatra seed, which was brought to Cameroon, and with time, with the sun, with the soil, with the magic of Mother Nature, evolved into a very particular type of tobacco, which is unique in the world. And when people go around calling tobaccos from other parts of the world Cameroon, and then saying that it's because the seed is a Cameroon seed, makes absolutely no sense. And I would like Carlito Fuente to speak about this.
I totally agree. Cameroon has to be grown in Cameroon. If you take a Cameroon seed and you grow it in Central America and the Caribbean or any place else in the world, you're going to get a different result. You may find similarities to Cameroon, but you're never going to have that wildness of Cameroon. The sweetness that Cameroon has is totally unique. The way it blends with all the tobaccos. That was my father's favorite leaf by far, including the Havana wrapper, by far Cameroon, because he said Havana sometimes is very difficult to blend, yet Cameroon blended with everything. Cameroon is a very unusual type of tobacco. As you mentioned yesterday in the show, it's very, very expensive. It's very, very difficult to obtain. But it's something that we build our brand on, and we strongly believe in. We believe in taste and consistency of taste. And I think that the challenge of being able to make the same cigar year after year with all the difficulties we face is what captures our hearts and why we're so in love with what we do, because it's a sport. It's a challenge. It's that matador going out every morning and fighting a new bull. And Cameroon is unique, and there's no question about it. The taste of a cigar with authentic Cameroon is totally different. That being said, it depends how you blend it. Again, as the professor says, you could put a Cameroon cigar wrapper on a mild cigar, or a medium cigar, on a spicy cigar, on a cigar that just about anything you can imagine. And the Cameroon will still enhance it, but it won't make you a great cigar. It's how you use the tobaccos together, how you blend it, that will achieve greatness.
That is true. And there's something I'm going to say, and I know that Carlito's going to agree, and Jeremiah also. People have asked me all the time, my favorite rapper, and of course, for years and years and years, they've even made jokes about it, Cameroon. But the two best Cameroon, I've been smoking for 54 years. A little bit, maybe Carlito and I, well, it's the same age smoking. And to me, the two best Cameroon cigars ever made in the world, and nobody, I don't care what anybody says, will make a cigar as close as that, is Don Carlos personal blend and the personal blend of Guillermo's father, Fernando Leon. That in my opinion, him and Don Carlos probably blended the two best. They blended a lot of good cigars, but nobody has been able to blend two cigars like Don Carlos and Don Fernando did. Two amazing cigars. It was two cigars that had everything you wanted in a cigar and more.
Well, you're getting the secrets of the professor himself. You're getting his very personal opinions. I mean, the Don Carlos is an unbelievably special cigar, but and everybody knows that one of my all-time favorites, but that's not what this show is all about. What it is about, however, is getting the information to you for you to understand, have the basic tools to be able to go out there and understand what you're smoking and what you're tasting. The professor, one question for you. When you're smoking the Cameroon or Connecticut Shade or whatever it may be, do you see a variation based on the actual plantations it's coming from?
Definitely. Look, there's people like, they say, Cameroon, but I ask them, is it Meerapfel? They go, no, we bought it from so-and-so from Ecuador. What is the difference between true Cameroon and Cameroon grown in other part? Like Carlito said, there's no tobacco, it's sweet, it's Cameroon. And that spice that it has. But if you try Cameroon grown in Ecuador, it's going to be spicy and earthy. It doesn't have that much sweetness. So at the end of the day, we've been talking day after day about this. The seed is important, but more than anything else, it's all about the soil.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Professor. You always are right. I don't like to agree with you because then if I agree with you every time, then what am I doing on the show? So I don't like to, but we're very fortunate that Ecuador doesn't taste like Cameroon, nor Cameroon tastes like Ecuador, or Honduran, or San Andres, Mexico, or Nicaraguan, or Dominican wrappers. Think how fortunate we are that we have all this variety of taste. Just as the chef Christophe would say, we are fortunate. This is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And all the tobaccos are great on their own, and all of them serve a purpose. And this is what makes it so interesting in cigars, that there's such a huge, wide varieties of different flavors. And we all agree to disagree. What I like, you may not like, and someone else may like something that you nor I like, and we're all right. The most important thing is that we're enjoying the cigar at the moment that we are smoking the cigar. That's what's most important.
Ladies
and when we pay for something, we feel rewarded. It's a luxury. And that we're able to take back that moment and enjoy our lives, because life, as we see, is very short. And there are special things in life that God gave us. And one of those special things is a fine cigar and the moment to enjoy it.
And the company.
Of course.
Ladies and gentlemen,
even if it's through
from the mouth of the legend himself, Carlito Fuente. Carlito, there is a question coming in from Alex Noel. Alex, you're live. Please speak and ask your question to Carlito. How you doing, brother?
Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
I can, yes. Hi, Alex.
I'm going to be bugging you guys every day now, man. It's an honor to talk to you, Carlito.
And the honor's mine, my friend.
I would love to meet you one day. That would be great.
We
I have a
certainly will
question.
meet each other. Our paths will cross, I promise you.
Yes, sir.
God willing.
I have a question about what were the old school philosophies about blending and how is that changing? Like what you learned from your father and what you learned from all the old school titans that were there aren't with us anymore. What was their mentality about blending and how did it change with the years versus who's presently blending?
Alex, that's a very good question. And I think you asked the right person, because I don't think there's anyone living that has been around a family that makes handmade cigars for so many generations that has seen the changes that I've seen. There is an absolute difference in the way cigars were blended, the way I was taught, and the way I blend cigars today. But the older I become, I find myself going back to the classics, going back to what my grandfather taught my father and what my father taught me. And the difference is My father always taught me the perfect cigar is a cigar that you're enjoying, you're smoking. And when you get down to the very end, you're looking for a toothpick because that cigar is so delicious that you want to continue smoking. Yet when you finish that toothpick, your mind tells you, he says, well, that's a hell of a cigar. I'm going to light another one. The difference today, people want to make cigars so strong they're out of balance. You smoke half an inch, you smoke an inch, you smoke half the cigar, you leave it on the ashtray, and you've had enough cigar for the rest of the day. And that's not the way I was taught. I was taught like going to the best restaurant. The chef could add to this, that you could have a 7-8 course meal and you get up and you don't feel overwhelmed with fullness. You walk out that door and you're saying, oh shit, I'm still hungry. I wish it would have been a 10-course meal.
Chef, Chris,
you know,
Chef, what do you think about
that's
this?
the difference how blending has changed over the years.
Carlito.
More elegance.
Correct. Yeah, the same thing. I think so. Honestly, for me, smoking a cigar, it's a kind of meditation. So that's why I love your cigar, Carlito, because the balance and the sweetness of the quality of the cigars are amazing. Since I tried yours, I don't want to smoke. I don't want anything else. I just want only cigars from Carlito. I'm honest. Trust me, very honest.
I believe you.
Chris, you're not allowed to say this on live television, brother.
No, I truly appreciate it, Chef. And there are a lot of great cigars out there. And I advise people to try different cigars because everything in life is relative. And unless you can't really achieve greatness unless people with knowledge have compared to others out there. And I think that's why you're so confident in yourself and you know what you have and you know where your performance brings. But I advise people to try because there's so many tastes and every cigar maker pours their heart into making the best they can. Now remember, they're making cigars to their taste, just as you're making food to your taste.
Well, I agree.
Every human being has a different taste. We were brought up differently. We had different grandmothers. We were brought up in different kitchens. And our memory is what stimulates our activity and our art and what we create, trying to capture those special moments in our life. And since we all come from a different home, a different background, there's a big variety in the spice to all the different things that we perform.
I agree completely.
Now remember,
I agree. I totally agree with both of them, which I don't like to agree.
It's a question of emotion. Emotion is the most important things. Emotion, and when you smoke a cigar also.
now, Fabien's asking a question which is quite important. He says, is this the reason a cigar like the Angel Share was born?
Oh, I love that cigar.
Yeah, we know it's your favorite. I think Carlito
Well,
for this. What about the Angel Share, Carlito?
Angel Share is the destiny of life, like many things that happen in life. We were preparing 9 years before our 100th anniversary. I never thought we'd see our 100th anniversary. And we're now in our 108th year. But we were preparing for many, many years and setting aside our oldest tobacco and wanting to come out with the most spectacular cigar ever created by the Fuente family. This was my goal. And I wanted to be my legacy, to leave something to make my grandfather proud, make my father proud. And a couple of years before our 100th anniversary, we had a huge fire. And we lost 3 huge warehouses and 8,000 bales of tobacco, between tobacco 20 years old, older tobacco, and Maduro broadleaf to come in smaller bundles. But altogether, there were 8,000 units of bales. That set us aside. We lost so much of our precious tobacco from Fuente Pasex, and tobaccos that would come out was Destino Siglo. So I had to reduce the production of Destino Siglo with the tobacco that we had left. And When I got to the burning warehouse that morning, and I don't like to use this term, but that's what I imagined. I saw this big cloud of smoke going up to the heavens. It reminded me, it was like a mushroom smoke. And I remember it was during Hurricane Irene, and it took my father 3 days to be able to come. And he was desperate because he knew how precious this tobacco was to us and how detrimental this would be to our company. But when he finally arrived, he came to me. He was shaking, and I was shaking too, and I wanted to show strength and show my father that I wasn't falling apart. And he said, son, I'm so sorry. I couldn't be here with you during these very difficult moments. And I said, Dad, you know, I felt an inner peace, Dad, because when I saw the smoke going up, it smelled so damn good. I know that my grandfather, my grandmother, uncles and aunts, and everybody who's been with our family for the last 100 years was smoking the best tobacco in the world in the heavens. I felt such relief. And that's where the word angel share came from. It was an inspiration to adjust everything and come out with angel share for our 100th anniversary. And angel share was used with different tobaccos in the Fuente de Sex. We always used the higher primings to try to get the deep richness and the spiciness. On angel share, I had tobacco that I wasn't using. A lot of the third, second, and third primings of the plant, which are the sweetest part. So I readjusted the blend, came out with the angel share. It's a little sweeter, and it became a hit. And those are things that they're not planned. They're things that happen in your life. And you go back and you ask yourself why, and you say there's only one reason. It was meant to be. God has a purpose for us in life. And we still have a lot more to accomplish. That I'm sure of.
Yay! I love that story, and I love that cigar. Thank you, Carlito.
You're welcome.
Carlito, we're getting messages everywhere. I'm going to read a few of them because this is a testimony to your past, to your love, to your passion, to your history, to your heritage, and to everything else. Benoit Brochard sending out, thank you, Carlitos.
Yes, thank you.
Five is sending in, just amazing. This is what the whole industry is about. Thank you, Carlito. Messages coming in from Michi Brito. Michi says, I love the raw emotions of Carlito. God bless you. Carlito, the entire world is thanking you because at the end of the day, what is this about? What is Carlito about? What is this show about? It's about caring. It's about true, raw passion. It's about connecting, and it's about being together. So, Carlito, thank you so much. You've just warmed the hearts out of a lot of people here, and I think everybody appreciates. The professor, back to you.
Question. You know, I want to make a point about the angel share. I remember many years ago, I went to the factory. Carlito, we were going to meet that day later on, and Samuelito took me into the Opus room, and he gave me 10 angel shares that maybe I still have 4 or 5. And I got to be honest, that probably is my favorite Opus, to be honest. Carlito ain't going to like it, but I try to be honest.
I'm so glad I have.
No, you know what? Let me just say, let me answer, please. Let me answer. I do like it because it is the truth. My father would never smoke a Fuente de Sex. Never. That was not his cigar. He would tell me, I don't know how in the hell people smoke the cigar. And I tried to explain to my father, I said, Dad, you love a Lincoln Continental, a Bentley, a Rolls Royce. You like comfort. But there's a lot of people in the world who love Ferraris and love the motor right up their rear end. And they love to have their knees in their chest and bang their head when they get in and out of the car. But there's a feeling about that zoom, 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 zoom that the Fuente de Sex gives you. It's not for everybody. It wasn't intended to be for everybody. And
totally agree.
And that's the honest truth. That's why I agree with you, Jose. I do agree.
All right. Well, it's that time of the day, guys. It's time for Benoit's Baked. Benoit, you want to take it over?
Yes. Do you receive my video, Jeremiah?
I did receive your video. Now, the only problem is I'm not sure we're going to be able to broadcast it, but let me see if this works. Hold on. Give me a second.
Tell me first if it works.
Let's see if it works.
Well, While you're saying that, Carlito, they say that you are our leader. Come soon to Spain. Your hashtag PGN.
Que viva España, tierra de amor, de calor y de la buena comida y la buena vida. Que viva España.
Que viva España.
All right, let's see if this works. Oh, yeah, it does work.
Okay,
All right.
right.
Should I play this? No.
So wait, I would like to speak first about this. So everybody are stuck in home, in place. So we are trying to get busy, and sometimes we got inspiration on internet because we can find a lot of video, a lot of funny video. So people try to make the same things at home, but sometimes it doesn't work. It works in the wrong way. So let's check the video together.
All right, let's do this.
That's the right way. And that's the wrong way. So before to make a joke at home, please take care of you.
Benoit.
It doesn't work like on internet. Please take care, guys. I love you.
Benoit, you're not baked, bro. You're completely fucked up. All right, we got some questions coming in here. Jose Brito. All right. Hello, Jose. We got a question coming in from Jose Brito. He says, can we get an update on Fuente Nicaragua operations and how our brother Felix Mesa is doing? This is a question coming in from Jose Brito, the Opus Sex Rat Pack.
Well, Jose, hello, Jose. Nice to see you, Jose. Un abrazo, hermano. Nicaragua is coming along, not as quick as I wish. That was always my father's dream to go back. As you know, we were there in the 1970s, and we lost everything in the revolution. But the factory plans are going, they're moving along. The soil's being moved. We have the properties. We have 2 large farms in operation. Felix Mesa is right this moment in Nicaragua, harvesting and curing tobacco. So everything's moving forward. We hope to start the actual construction and building the foundation within the next 3 months, God willing. All the plans are done, and I'm very excited and looking forward to it. It's brought in new energy in me. It's something for me to look forward to. I feel like a young man with a new car waiting for me to reach the right age to get the keys and to start it and drive it around the block. I'm all excited. And it is in the works, and hopefully soon you'll be able to see the results.
Wow. Fuente going back to Nicaragua, that would be something absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the day. It's time for Melanie Sisco in the hot spot. Melanie?
But it's cold here. Don't you know it's like 78 degrees? I'm freezing my butt off.
You don't look freezing, but that's okay.
I know, I kid a lot. Okay, so I have excitement because we're gonna give away something tomorrow. Isn't that incredible? I love giving. I don't want to give away my Fuente stuff. I want it all. So, but thank God I don't have it, and you're gonna send it to them. So, but they have to come on tomorrow, and they have to you gotta like our page. So we have a Facebook page. It's called @The Fuente Show. @The Fuente Show. Go and like it, and that's your first 10. Okay. So, anyways, life is good, and smoke more cigars, and be happy.
Oh wow, Melanie, thank you very much. So I hope everybody caught on to that. There is a giveaway going on. You got to go. You got to like at the Fuente Show. Melanie, it's a YouTube. Is that a YouTube page?
That's two. Yes, there is a. Okay, so that's the other part. But yes, the first part is the Facebook page. So if you go to the Facebook page and like it, and then also look for our YouTube page, which there should be a link on the Facebook. If not, there will be today. I promise.
All right. So you like the page.
And what's the goal? To just stunt the professor?
Oh,
Because that's the only way that we're going to save whatever gifts we have. Because if you ask me this question, they're going to win every time. So we got to take out our ace, man. We got to use the professor. Nobody could beat the professor.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
We'll find the guy who nails the professor, and the person who nails the professor is going to win a prize as well. We'll make sure of that. Get your questions to come in. I want somebody today to nail the professor. Keep getting those questions in, and we'll make sure that we can nail that professor today. All right.
I'm going to be nailed a lot. I mean, I don't know at all. If between you, me, and Carlito can get the answer, then we have a problem then.
All right. In the meantime, we got some big news today for you all. Tomorrow, we have another guest of honor beyond belief. Melanie, who's coming on tomorrow?
Daniel Marshall, and he is got a giveaway of his own. I mean, that guy is phenomenal.
Daniel Marshall. Now, Daniel Marshall is not only a friend of Carlito's, friend of the industry, one of the greatest humidor makers of all time, and certainly the greatest in the United States of America. There's no question about this. One of the greatest in the world. Everybody loves Daniel Marshall, and we have Daniel Marshall on our show tomorrow. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I hear he's giving away a $500 limited Daniel Marshall humidor to one of you guys that are going to be on the show tomorrow. So if I were you, I would not miss it. And
on the internet, when you put it on the internet, it's true.
You put that on the internet? I didn't see that. All right. And I hear he's giving away cigars. He's giving away cigars he made with Carlito. Carlito, is that possible? You made cigars for Daniel Marshall?
There was a very, very small limited production, very small. I'm surprised he saved a few boxes. I think there's own personal possessions they're going to give away tomorrow. They're very, very special.
My goodness.
Very special.
Okay,
My goodness.
now I have to win. Why can I not? I can't win this.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, make sure you join us tomorrow. We'll be live with Daniel Marshall. We'll be glad to see all of you guys. In the meantime, it's that time of the day again. Time to say goodbye. We'll all meet tomorrow. Same time, same place. Tomorrow is Fuente Friday. I want to see you guys in numbers, nailing the professor, making sure you win on the Daniel Marshall giveaway, and just getting all the hands. All right. Chef Christophe, thank you very much. It was very nice today.
My pleasure, Godfather. It was a pleasure to be here. See you next week for new inspirations.
See Chef next Thursday. Carlito Fuente, thank you very much for co-hosting the show as always.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Jeremiah?
Benoit, stop smoking up or drinking or whatever it is you do.
That's rather. But before to say goodbye, I would like to thank you, everyone. Thank you, Melanie, for the great job for the Facebook page, internet. You did it very, very well, very great. Thank you, Carlitos, for the raw emotion. It's I am very honored about it. Thank you, the professor about his knowledge. Thank you, the chef, for the recipe. We hope to see you soon, chef. We miss you really, very much.
Me too.
And before to go, I would like to say thank you to all the people in the streets in Brussels and elsewhere, because at 8 p.m. every day we go outside to applause and make clap for the medics and all the people working in the hospital. So I would like to say thank you to everyone. Take care. We love you and see you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Give us a good clap for us too. We want to support.
Good night.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Stay
Bye.
tuned.
Bye.
Tomorrow,
Love yourselves.
same time, same place. Tomorrow on Fuente and Meerapfel present The Professor. Love you. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.